All right, welcome to another great edition of the Journey to this is Living Boldly with Purpose podcast. Why did I say Journey podcast? Because I don't know where I'm at today. Sorry about that. I just got back from Boston. I went and saw some grandkids. The grandkids are phenomenal. They're wonderful. They're just full of germs that are not here in Denver, Colorado. So I brought them back with me and they jumped on me and they're inside of me. And so sorry about my voice today, folks, but I was not going to give up on this podcast today with Ivan. And so if I cough a little bit, sorry about that. I'll try to put on mute when I got to cough as much as I can. Ivan and I were having just such a great conversation. And I stopped him in the middle of our conversation because we weren't on camera. We weren't ready to go yet. And I was like, I want our audience to be able to hear, because we have guests on, and sometimes guests have this specific agenda. Let's say that they wrote a book, right? And so they want to come on my podcast because they wrote the book and they want to tell me everything about the book, which is great. And it's fine. It's just, as you guys know, it's not my podcast. I mean, my podcast, I want you to tell us about your book, but I want to know who you are first. I want to know what you're thinking. I want the audience to have that experience of genuine. And I don't care what you do until I care who you are. And then I care that That's you nice. Know when you care about me. And so it's great that you wrote a book. I've written books and I want to get on and I want to share what I think the world needs to know. But at the same time, I want the world to know me. And so Ivan and I were talking today and I literally asked him the question. I said, what are you excited about today? And I am not going to spoil that for you. But before we're going to answer that question, right? What was he excited about today? I just wanted him to tell you a little bit about who he is and his background and how he grew up, or, what was he excited about? Because with all our guests, I always ask them, I said, is there, a time in your life or something that happened that made you who you are? And you can take, and the people say, well, what am I supposed to share? I said, it's your life. You can't get this wrong, because even if you made it up, you can make up your whole story. I wouldn't know because I haven't been around you long enough. Now your mom watches it. She'll call you up and she'll go, what the heck are you all about? And so I was traveling today. He's helping some people out. He's doing some phenomenal stuff. So if you want to start with the question first, we can bounce it around because that's what's on your mind. But at some point, you're going to tell us a little bit about who you are. And so I want to give you the mic. I want you to take over. I'm going to drink some of my special potion right here, and then we'll go from there. So thank you for being on today. Thank you for taking your time. I love it. The Public Speaking Lab is part of who you are. We'll get to that later, folks. You don't get that now. You got to find out all about what we want you to know about this first part of it. So go ahead, Ivan. Go ahead and share with us.
Well, let me say that here's some, Brian, when we were talking before, I'm really about, okay, I'm going to give you a really crazy analogy. Okay. I'm a big dancer and I dance a lot of salsa music. Okay. Now, a lot of times I also teach salsa music. I also teach salsa dancing, I should say. So a lot of times when people teach salsa, they'll teach you a step. They'll go forward and middle, back and middle. And that's kind of like the basic salsa step. But when you dance, you never go forward and middle. You always go forward and back and forward. So there's a difference between what people teach and what people do. Yes. And one of those places that people always seem to always do stuff, there's a cognitive dissonance between what we do and what we want. And let me give you an example. I mean, let's be real. All right. I'm going to be real with you for a second. Right? Love it. Dude, I'm nobody. Right? Like, I'm not, like, no one's like, oh my God, Ivan Wanis Ruiz is on the podcast. No, people were like, who's Ivan Wanis Ruiz? Like, that's like, I'm not there yet. Okay.
All right.
And most of the time, people don't care about bios. Like, if we're honest, people say, like, if I would have started this episode, it's like, well, my name is Ivan Wanis Ruiz. I'm based here. I'm a communications expert. I already see you tuning out. I already see the life leaving your and like, Brian, you're being polite and everything. It's all good. But this happens all the time, right? You're like, you give them this list that you always give. And here's what happens. And this is great for the listening audience. Go on YouTube, everybody, and watch this. Here's what you'll see. You go through a bio, you'll see everyone go like this.
Yes. Yeah.
Because nobody cares, dude, until they know who you are.
Yeah.
So forget the bios. I'm going to play a little game with you, Brian. Okay.
All right. Love it.
5 things about me. Okay.
Okay.
And the audience, you can put it in the comments. Okay. Put it in the comments which one you think is a lie before you find out the answers. Okay. I'm going to tell you 5 things about me. 3 of them are true. 2 of them are a lie. Okay. 3 of them are true. 2 of them are a lie. You ready? Number 1, I've met Leonardo DiCaprio. Number 2, I backpacked across Australia. Number 3, I'm a break dancer. Number 4, I once won a tango dancing championship in Argentina. Number 5, I was the announcer for the FIFA World Cup.
Okay.
So 2 of those are a lie, bro. 2 of those are a lie. Which one do you think are lies?
I would say the World Cup announcer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say, what was the first one? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I don't think you care about him. But maybe you met him anyway. Maybe he's my favorite.
You don't think I met him? Okay, well, let me tell you something, homie. Let me tell you something.
Talk to me.
So, okay, I went to university in a city in Montreal where the main language is French.
Okay.
And at the time, my French was terrible. And the only job I could get was as a background actor in movies. And for 3 days, I was the shoulder in front of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, there you
go. 3 days, it was like, hey, Leo, good morning. How was lunch? Good afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow. Just like polite little conversation. So that's true.
I love it. Okay.
That's
so
true.
I'm wrong.
You're wrong on that one. Now, you actually said you think the FIFA World Cup. Okay. Well, one of the things that I use to sell my credibility as a speaker is I have been an announcer for several large-scale events. One of them was the Olympics. One of them was the Pan Am Games, the Invictus Games, and a year ago for the FIFA World Cup. And I'm that person that when you walk into a stadium and you hear, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. And now, please welcome to the stage. Like that kind of stuff. So that is my side gig. I'm like a legit announcer MC.
Wow. I have a cousin who does it for the Mavericks. He's the announcer.
Put me in touch with him.
Yeah.
He needs a sub. Let me know.
All right. I will let him because he does all their games, home games. So yeah.
Now, I have never backpacked across Australia.
Why?
And I've never been a tango guy.
Oh, okay. That's because you said
those were the lies.
Okay, gotcha.
But I am until I got too old, I was a break dancer.
That's
hard on the body.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. And I wanted to do this for 2 reasons. 1, it's hard for people to talk about themselves. 2, it's even harder for people to talk about themselves in a way that's interesting. 3, when you talk about yourself, it's one-sided. But look what we've done by making an introduction into a game.
Yeah.
Think about how, dude, if I had just told you those things, you would have gone like this. Cool. Okay, Ivon. So and then we would have moved on because no one would have cared. But by making it a fun game that we interact with, and this is part of the things I'm trying to change in this world, man. There's a cognitive dissonance between what we do and what we want. Everyone wants something different and unique. But then when we have to do it, we go back to old reliable. Yeah. So one of my goals, and is I want to change the world. I want to make the world more interesting by challenging and showing how so many of the things that we do, it's not that it's bad, it's not that it's wrong, but that it could be done better. And the most dangerous phrase in the human language is because that's how we've always done it.
Oh my gosh. I hate when people say that.
Yeah, for real. I got a little anecdote for you if you don't mind.
No, please. Yeah.
So, I teach communication skills, right? So I was doing this training and we're showing these people all these really cool things. And 2 of the people who did the training with us were coming on behalf of their company. And she's like, oh my God, I love this. Everything we were doing. I wish we could do this at our company because we have these super boring meetings. And I was like, well, why don't you do it at your company then? She's like, oh, no. Nobody, we can't. We have to do it the old way. And I was like, is that what? And well, this is the thing. And I was like, so tell me more. She's like, well, everyone hates it. No one likes doing it. Everyone thinks it's boring. Everyone thinks it's a huge waste of time. And I'm like, why don't you try doing some of this stuff so it's different? No, we can't, because it's expected that we do it the boring way.
Expected
and by this is the cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it. Everyone kept doing it because they thought everyone else wanted it, but nobody wanted it. And I thought, man, that is insanity to me. But change is hard.
Yeah.
Brian, you asked me a little bit about this podcast, the reason it's so great is about people kind of like, going and finding their purpose. The fear of the unknown is greater than the fear of being unhappy. So most people will settle for unhappy. And I'll give you two really good examples. Yeah. Brian, how many people that are in relationships and you're like, dude, break up.
Yeah, there's no way.
You guys should not be together. Break up. And what do they say? Well, what if I can't find anyone better?
What if? Yeah.
What if? Yeah.
What? Yeah, right. You'll figure it out.
How many people and you're like, who cares? You're super unhappy. Fine. It can't get worse. Jobs. How many people listening right now are listening? Dude, look how you lit up. Right? Yeah. You've been there. I can see it in your eyes. Tell me about a job you hated.
Oh my God. Okay. So there's this job. I was a teacher. And as a teacher, I have 8 children and 16 grandkids. And so we have all these kids, and I'm teaching, and then I'm getting ready for summer school, right? Because we have to teach summer school in order to make enough money, because you only get paid for the 10 months of a year as a teacher at the time. And so summer school gets canceled because there's no money, no budget, whatever is going on in the county, city, country, whatever it is, state. I'm in California at the time. And so we're being another football coach. We are looking for these jobs, and we're going through all these things. And so we pick one, and it says like warehouse something maintenance or something like that. So, okay, we can go do that. We show up, and it's a recycling plant, and they give us these sticks and with no gloves or nothing, and tell us that we got to like stab the recycling containers from like restaurants and sort them and put them in this other bucket. And we looked at each other, we looked at the guy, and we said, see ya, there is not 1 hour of 1 day of 1 minute that you're going to have you trick me to get me here. And then you're going to expect me to be able to do. That's the one that popped up in my mind right away, because I have not been the guy who spent a whole bunch of time at a job that after a year or 2 years and I don't like it, I'm out. I'm that guy who goes, this isn't worth. I'm going to feed my kids and I'm going to take care of my family. So I'm going to do the money part that it took to be able to do it. But I'm not staying. I was administrator. I was in charge of a master's program at Azusa Pacific University. And I was like 29 years old running, programs. And I just got into it with all the other folks that have been there for years doing the same thing you're talking about. Or what you're saying is we'd have to do it this way. And I'm like, I don't want to do it this way. Well, you have to have no, I don't want to do it this way. And then one day I just cleaned out my office. I moved it to the other office across town. I'm like, you can't do that. I'm like, why not? And then finally I just got to the point where I'm like, I'm going to go start my own business because I can't deal with you people. And so, but yeah, you were so right. But here's
the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. A lot of the people you met didn't want change, even though they were probably unhappy with everything.
Oh gosh, isn't that crazy?
And they're probably still there because the fear of the unknown is greater than the fear of being unhappy. Yeah. And you're one of the few that quit. And I was also this way because I was like, I could see the path. So here's the thing. I decided to make a huge life change in my life at around, it was 2013, 2012, 2013.
Okay.
But nothing was bad.
Yeah.
Nothing was bad. Just nothing was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I could see, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you've done this too, right? And here, my life was like, honestly, so at that time, I had my own dance school and I was teaching dancing. And the thing about dancing, it's hard to make money as a dancer. Like it's not a life for making money. So nothing was bad, but I wasn't making great income. I was making okay income. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what happened. So all the guys right now who are getting older can empathize with this. One day I got out of the shower, and again, if you're listening to this, go on YouTube and watch it. And I went like this, and I noticed that my hairline was much bigger than it used to be.
Oh my
And I
God.
had this moment of life just coming and going slap right in the face, like, "What's up, old timer?" Like, you know what I mean? And I realized that out of nowhere, almost 10 years had passed, and nothing had gone better or worse. I was just on this flat line. And I thought, you know what? If I stay this way, it'll be fine. But then I'm going to be 60 years old, living exactly as I am when I'm 30. The fear of the unknown, though. What if I can't do anything? And I think I'm a big believer in you have to face the unknown. So I sold everything I owned.
Oh, okay.
And except for like one backpack, and I did the total, like, I'm going to go backpacking. I went to Colombia. And
But not Australia. You went to
not
Colombia.
Australia, homie. Not Australia. I went to where they speak Espanol.
There we go. I love it.
And I spent like 2 months just kind of like backpacking, being kind of like broke backpacker in Australia. And then I showed up in a new city where I'd never been before. And I said, it's going to be sink or swim. And whether by virtue of being in the city or by virtue of not having the safety net of friends and family, the comfort of like being back home, here I am 11 years later, 12 years later, 13 years later. Wait, 20, I've already lost track. 12 years later. And I'm living like the best, like my best life as of now. Can it be better? Yes. Am I trying to make it better? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it way better than it would have been? Yes.
Wow. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Canada, okay.
Canadiense.
Gotcha. And
but my background is Colombian, so that's why I speak Spanish.
Oh, that's great. And so you went to backpack in the country that your background's from,
yeah,
which is great. I keep telling my wife we need to go to Colombia, and she's like, "I'm not going to Colombia." She's, whatever the stigma
is. She's scared of it. She's scared of it. You shouldn't be.
And her background, she's her dad's family is Puerto Rican, and her mom's family is Mexican, and so she's
know what's funny?
Mexican.
Puerto Mexican. Boricuana. I don't know how could we say. Yeah. Anyway, I spent a lot of time in Mexico, and it's funny because I talked to my family in Colombia, and they're like, "Oh, yo, be careful! It's super dangerous in Mexico."
I bet, yeah.
And I have family from Bogota, Colombia, that they're like, "Oh no, I'd never go to Mexico. It's too dangerous." And then I'm in Mexico, and I tell people, I'm going to Colombia for Christmas, and they're like, "Oh man, pero muy peligroso!" Like it's like so dangerous.
Wow, they don't know.
Honestly, yeah. I'm afraid to go to Puerto Rico. I heard Puerto Rico is super dangerous, and Puerto Ricans are like, "Oh, yo, papi, no."
Yeah, there's nothing. We've been there a couple of times. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So, did you do like all the way through high school in Canada, or did you move around? Or okay.
I'm Canadian. I identify as Canadian. I've lived here since I was like 5 years old.
Okay.
Although since 2021, I've been living like a nomad. So that's another kind of random thing. Since 2021, everything I own is in the room with me right now. It all fits into a carry-on bag. And I live like a full-out digital nomad and a minimalist. Like I own nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, talk to me about that a little bit. Well, I mean,
yeah,
you're a minimalist, and you like you said, you can go from place to place. And we get, I think about this all the time. Like we got this house, and I put a whole bunch of stuff in the storage that that we brought from the other house, that we brought from the house before, and it's been 5 years, and I never looked at it once.
What if we need this VCR, honey? I can't get rid of it. What if we need the VCR again?
Yes, I know. It's like warts and stuff that I've had. I'm like, what? I'm never going to look at it again. Nobody ever cares about it. So when you made that transition to just being so minimal and going from place to place, has that freed you up? I mean, to just.
So my favorite movie is Fight Club.
Okay.
And it's crazy because, I'm going to date myself a little bit here. So before the internet, I used to live in a place, I had no cable, and I joked about it. I had a Fight Club on VHS. So just for background, I would just put Fight Club on over and over and over. So I can quote you this movie, man. I know this movie inside and out.
Brad Pitt,
I think with Brad Pitt and oh geez, Ed Norton.
There you go. He's my favorite.
I think about lines from Fight Club all the time. And one of the lines that really kind of helped me in my minimalism kind of journey is something that they say several times in the movie. The things you own end up owning you.
Ooh.
And I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you something. When I was selling everything, I had one of those couches that you open up and the bottom is like storage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's underneath the seat, it's storage. And I had all these t-shirts and like clothing basically that I hadn't looked at in like 10 years. But they're like, oh my God, that's the t-shirt from the Olympics. Oh God, that's the t-shirt from the Pan Am Games. Like these were like big milestones in my life. And I was like, I can't give these away. Like I can't just give them away because like these are milestones in my life. And then I thought, I haven't looked at these or thought about these things for like 7, 8 years. So what's the point? They're not milestones if like I don't ever refer to them. You know what I mean? And I have photos. I mean, you know what I mean? What's the t-shirt going to be? So it was hard, but getting rid of everything at the end of it, it's like liberating. Even now it's super liberating. And I'll give you an example. I actually don't know where I'm going to live in 2 weeks. After I have a 1 week, I have a 1 week gap in November in between all my speaking engagements where I just have a week and there's no clients paying for any hotel rooms. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? But I've been doing this for so long that for like, if I told you like, hey, Brian, I don't have anywhere you have nowhere to live next week. You'd be like, oh, right. Cause we're so used to having a home base. For me, I'm like, I could go to Mexico for a week. I could visit my family for a week. I could go to a new city for a week. And I'm completely free to do that because I don't have to worry. I don't have a rent that I have to pay. It's not all amazing. Like there's definitely cons to living this lifestyle. And I'm trying to go back to a more typical lifestyle, to be honest with you. But for the past, I guess, 4 years, it's been a very interesting kind of random lifestyle.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that happening. And what's so cool about the relationships and the networking and the things that folks like you and I have done is I don't ever worry about being homeless or worry about where I would be out in the middle of the street or anything. I just know too many people that if I said I don't have a place to stay this week, like I would say, hey, if you don't have a place, Denver's great. You can sleep in, you can sleep in our basement right now because we got a room. You know,
watch like, the next episode. It's going to be me walking behind Brian. He's going to be talking to somebody in my underwear, being like, "What's up, dude?
Yeah,
can I have this?"
We're talking like when he was with DiCaprio, right? He'd say, "Hey, Brian, good morning.
Yo, man, can I spend the night on your couch, dude? Spend the night on the couch, homie?"
Yeah, of course, absolutely, because that's just kind of lifestyle. But I just love the thought of like I think about all that stuff that I have in storage. And the only reason right now that it's there is because I don't want to pay for a dumpster to throw it away, right? It's like it's not hurting anything right now. So why would I go spend a whole bunch of money to just throw it away? But at some point, if I move, it's not coming with us to the next place. And what's kind of crazy about that, when I think about that, the next place, my wife has an embroidery business and it just keeps growing and it's taking over all the place. So she needs more space. So we'll probably move to where we have acreage and a barn or something that she can do all her stuff. So we'll move to a bigger place. And I'm going to take less stuff to a bigger place, you know, but we always figure out a way to fill it up.
I love space, dude. My dream home, if I ever have a home again, I will have a home again. I should say that when I have a home again.
When you have a home, absolutely.
When I have a home is I want to have like a big space with very little in it.
Yes.
I just love space. I love being able to like move around in a space. Yeah, I'm very much that way.
Since I've been doing podcasting, I keep thinking about a space that would accommodate me to be able to do the podcasting that I want to do. It doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. I don't want a lot of furniture and stuff. You know, I'm in a bedroom right now and I'm like, wait, this isn't big enough. I want to put a different camera and I want to put this. You know, what if I just had a big old space? And I've been to like a guy who did one in his garage and it was like a 3-car garage and the whole 3-car garage was this podcasting space. And like, oh, this is the deal. Cause he's got a little studio over here, a little one over there and all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh. Talk to me a little bit about your identity. All right, because you're this person who's done some pretty what people would think were big main things. Okay, you're in stadiums, you're talking to thousands and hundreds of thousands of
Sure.
people, and they're hearing you. What you're this kid that's in Canada that's growing up. What leads you in your identity, or what changes in your identity that allows you to do all these wonderful and crazy fun things?
Well, I will tell you that imposter syndrome is a real thing.
Yes.
And I remember watching, like, I think it was like the Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, and he was talking how he feels like he's a fake, he's a fraud, like he shouldn't be a rock star. And people are like, dude, look how you are like the definition of rock star. He's like, no, I feel fake. Like I feel like I don't have the talent for this.
Mhm.
At every stage of what I've done in my life, I have felt the imposter syndrome.
Wow.
So I have been in the stadiums, and it's me announcing 50,000 people and getting them all to cheer. And the next day, just feeling like, ugh, when is everyone going to realize
You
that
feel
I
that,
don't know
yeah.
what I'm doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. And you hear that from people all the time, and I never
Oh, yeah.
understood it. But until you do things, and here's the thing, you will never feel that way unless you do the thing that scares you. So when you ask me about my identity, I mean, when I was in university and I thought I was going to business school, I thought my identity was going to be like as a salesperson,
Okay.
like because I thought I'd be really good at sales, and I did it and I hated it, and then I changed again to like another career job and another career job, and then I realized something, and this is something, Brian, that I think you realized. Some of us aren't meant to be in a structured environment. We're not meant to work for someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we force ourselves to because it's scary not to. I have friends all the time that say, you know what, I'd love to live the way you do. And I say, well, are you prepared to not know where any of your money's coming from in 2 months, in 3 months, in 4 months? Like, are you cool with like having like right now, January onwards is like this emptiness. And that's scary for a lot of people because they can't handle the uncertainty. So for example, when I first decided to do the dance school, that was super scary. I was like, oh no. And then I had this dance school. I still moonlight as a teacher, but for maybe 5 or 6 years, it was my main business. Yet I would feel embarrassed to tell people that I was a professional dancer. Because I'm like, who am I? Like, I'm not on TV. I felt like a fraud, and I was almost like embarrassed to it. And there's people who are better dancers than me, of course. But even though I was doing it, I was the definition of getting paid to dance. I still felt like an imposter. But the only reason I felt that way is because I did something that was scary.
Oh man, that's so so glad to hear you say that hey, even though I'm doing it and I maybe even haven't become that person that believes that I should be doing it, by doing it I'm still starting to become that person. And it kind of flips back and forth. I wrote this book because it's been part of my thought process. I want to ask you about it. It's called Be Do Have, right? So it's like becoming the person to do the thing and have the thing. Well, one of the things that I think we do as folks is we try to have all these things, but we haven't become the person that deserves those things, or we don't believe we become that person that
Yeah.
and so I can remember like when I was telling you I was a professor, I was working at a high school. I became a professor at the university because I was teaching technology, right? And I'm dating myself, right? This is before internet. I'm teaching teachers how to connect VCRs in the classroom, and I'm teaching them how to use overhead projectors. And then the internet comes and we do it.
Fantastic.
So I just turned 60 last March, so that's
Really?
kind of you got an idea of where I'm at and like my life.
You're aging well, dude.
Well, thank you. But so now I'm working at both jobs, right? I'm a high school teacher in the morning and I'm a professor in the afternoon. So I got 2 teaching salaries, but 2 teaching salaries looks like you're making a lot of money, right? So I said, well, I'm making a lot of money. I'm going to go get me a car, right? And so I go to the BMW dealership thinking I'm going to ride out of there like a 3 Series, and I come out of there with the 7 Series. Somehow they convinced me that I needed this car, right? So now I have this really cool car, and so now, but I'm not the person who has become that person who believes he deserves it or thinks
Yeah.
he deserves it, or in real life really not deserving it yet. And so now I got, what am I going to do to be able to maintain this? How do I, I got to pay for gas in this thing. It's a 12-cylinder, all the things are going. I have to put, it has a phone in it, but I'm not going to pay $1 a minute for a phone, right? I can hold it to my ear, but that's not going to connect to anybody. And I can remember like driving around the parking lot twice so I could wave at people. So I could start feeling like I had become this person. And maybe you can kind of talk about that a little bit. Is like, what are some of the things that that after you did it and you did some of it, you became that person, or things you worked so hard at to become, like dancing or something? You had to be a good enough dancer to be able to teach it, or you at some point you became that instructor that was it because the students were successful and they'd go out and smile and cheer? Because probably at first when you started teaching, you're probably like, I have no clue how to teach these people how to dance and if they're going to be good at it or not. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, it's very interesting what you say about, about doing it first.
Yeah.
Figuring out afterwards. So let me start in a weird place. In improv, and I did a bunch of improv, as many people do, but I got really into it, and I used to perform improv. I actually graduated from Second City, which is where a lot of famous stand-up comics come from, and a lot of famous comedians come from. One of the first things you do is you all stand in the circle and you play these games, and like you have to step into the circle and like say something. And if you wait for the right time to say something, you'll wait forever.
Yeah.
And if you step into the circle and have no idea what you're going to say, in the heat of the moment, something has to happen and you'll say something. That's the first step in getting really good at being comfortable with uncertainty.
Okay.
And when I talk about career paths and everything like that, I think you're only good at things you enjoy. So I tell people, what are you doing for fun? And they're like, they'll say whatever it is. And they're like, but I can't make money off that. I'm like, don't worry about making money. Just do more of it.
Yeah.
So for me, I started dancing because I had a job I hated, and they moved me into a small town that I hated, and I had income, but no friends and nothing to do. So I started taking dancing. Then it became my hobby, and then it's all I wanted to do. And then as it was all I wanted to do, I found a part-time gig. I was like I said, I was a background in movies and stuff like that, and TV shows. And I was just dancing all the time, and I was spending money on dancing until I got really, and as I was doing it, because I wanted to do it all the time, I got pretty good at it. As that happened, people noticed, and then people just started, opportunities came because people started asking me, hey, do you teach? I would say no. Would you like to teach at my studio? Sure. And it evolved that way. I teach communication skills because I've always loved doing it. So I started going to Toastmasters, and I became an advanced Toastmaster. And as I was doing all these Toastmaster things, you know what happened? People come to Toastmasters, hey, would you ever come and do this in my business, at my company? Can I pitch you to my company? And I would say yes. And that's how I got my first step into training and becoming a speaker. And I'll tell you this, it's almost the same strategy that Google followed when Google first started. And they used to always say, do cool shit. You know what I mean? And when the idea was, if we do something fun and cool, we'll figure out how to make money with it afterward. But first, do something fun and cool. So I was doing Toastmasters just because I loved it. I loved getting up speaking. I loved that kind of stuff. The very, 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 very first client I ever had was someone who came to my Toastmasters club, and they're like, hey, can you come speak at my program at the university? I said yes. To this day, almost 20 years later, I go back to that university a couple of times a year, and they've been like my most consistent client ever. And the first time I went and did it, it was for free. I didn't think about money. I just wanted opportunities. Now, contrasting that, I have a colleague, someone who works in the same field as me. He only thinks about the money. So if you call him and you tell him about the thing, his second question will be, or his first question will be, first, second, or third question will always be like, so what's the budget? For me, it's like the 50th question. And I still do things for free sometimes because it can lead to opportunities. And can I tell you one more thing? And then about growth a little bit, about discovering something. So I'm cheap, dude. I don't know about you, but I don't like spending money. I grew up kind of broke. I don't like spending money. I've been very broke in my life. I don't like spending money. But one of the best investments I ever did was spending money or making no money. 2 examples. 1, spending money. I tried, you say you teach at high schools. I teach at about 6 or 7 universities now across the world, which I love. I teach at usually business programs or MBA programs and that kind of stuff. Dude, for years, I was trying to get into university. I was cold emailing, sending letters, sending packages. Nobody cared. Then I paid like $1,000 to go and speak at a conference. And I'm like, I never pay to go. People pay me to go speak at conferences. You know what I'm saying? I go speak at this one conference. 50 people want to talk to me. 50 different universities. From all those different conversations, maybe 15 conversations. Out of those 15 conversations, 7 new contracts.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's because I paid to do something. The other one about making no money, I once volunteered to go and MC an event. I volunteered to MC a Latin dance festival. I volunteered at this event. This guy comes up to me halfway through. Hey, my name's so-and-so. I'm organizing the Pan Am Games next year, and we're looking for an MC. I'm wondering if you can be there. Sure. I do the torch relay for the Pan Am Games. Someone who sees me do the torch relay, hey, we need someone to do the soccer stadium for the actual soccer game during the tournament during the games. Are you available? I do it. I go and do the soccer stadium. Other guy who's at the soccer stadium says, hey, listen, I work for FIFA. We need a couple of MCs for some of our events. Can you do that? I say, yes, I can. And then I'm at the FIFA World Cup.
Wow.
All because I volunteered to do something.
So. Yeah, instead of asking, what's in it for me at first, you're saying, let me go do this. Look, what's that opportunity? Which brings me to like a question on just personal development. There's so many people that I guess don't want to work on themselves or don't know how to work on themselves. I think they want to be better. They just don't know how to do it. And they don't know how much time it takes because they're not willing to, hey, I got my favorite 4 shows that I got to watch binge watch or watch the season finale of. I can see with your lifestyle, that's probably pretty difficult to stay up with a lot of the television stuff that's on there, or whatever it is they do. I'm in my, I'm at my best friends or whatever in this baseball league, and we got to play 37 games in the next 8 weeks, in order, because we're playing, other old people that are just trying to figure out what something to do.
I love that. Other old people.
Yeah, it's so funny. Everybody's got an injury, right? At least one of them's going to the hospital tonight.
You see that meme of like what the predator sees, and it's like this infrared shot of like my knee, my back, my elbow, like
Oh yeah, I love that. So like, how much time do you spend on working on you and being better at stuff and that kind of stuff? What is it, and how much time should somebody be spending on being better?
Well, here's what I have found, because I'm 100% what you described. Brian, man, I'm like, I've been wanting to do blank forever, and there's always something more important. So here's what I realized I needed to do. And if this works for me, you got to raise the stakes by paying for it. That's what I do. So I'll give you a really good example. I've been trying to improve my French for years. And for years, I've gotten opportunities in French. Because in Canada, it's a bilingual country. There's a lot of opportunities for training in French. And every time it's super stressful, I have to say no, or I can't do it. And I'm like, I should improve my French. Never did. And then I finally said like, yo, man, you got to put some money up. So what did I do? I paid upfront for like 6 months of private French lessons. Upfront. And it hurt, man. It hurt. But you better believe already, like for the last few months, every time I see that, I should cancel this, man. I'm too tired. I got shit to do. I can't do this. But I paid for it. The reservation is there. And if I don't go to this class, I'm losing that money. And I'm very consistent every time I have, because I put some money into it. Now I care. So that's the first way to promote change. You have to go up front and pay for something up front. That's one thing that I found helped me. The second thing, and this is what I struggle with, okay, is it is really hard to do things at night. Most everyone allocates time for their changing after work. Okay, I'll do it from like 7 to 8 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock after this, and that, right? That's when a lot of us try and plan things, right? Okay, I'm going to plan A, B, or C tonight after work, after dinner and everything like that. I'll plan it before bed. That you'll never do that. If you're like me, Brian, you've probably done this, right? You're like, okay, I'll work on it tonight. Then tonight comes and you're like, homie, I'm not doing nothing. I had a day. I'm like exhausted. I just want to like turn the TV on and zone out. So you have to allocate time for self-improvement the way you allocate time for a job. And if you have a 9-to-5 job, then you have to allocate time during lunch breaks. You have to allocate time during the weekends, but don't wait until everything is done because you'll never have the energy.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Here's I want you to finish, but the way I learned how to stop doing stuff at night, I got old. And then you can't do anything at night. At 9:30, I'm ready to go to bed.
I'm in bed at night. Dude, I'm gonna be in bed in 3 hours. Like, I'll be real with you, dude. I'll be real with you. I wake up, but here's another thing that I found. Although I hate it, I have become such a morning person.
Yeah.
And the reason I hate it is because I can't go salsa dancing in the mornings, man. I got to go salsa dancing at night, and I never have the energy to do it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, by the way, can I a little plug for salsa dancing? Okay. So if I could, and I recommend this to everyone I know. Listen, if you are getting older and you still want to socialize, because as most of us get older, part of what happens is we have less and less new people in our lives. We get into the job where we see the same people. We hyper concentrate into the 3 or 4 friends that we have from university or high school, and we rarely get new people. We get married, we have kids, and there's very few new influences in our lives, which is why so many people, have families and work and are lonely.
Yeah.
Are married and are lonely.
So many lonely people. Yeah.
So I always recommend you got to find a hobby that gets you socializing, that isn't going to the bar for drinks or isn't going for dinner. Yeah. So for example, I had a friend of mine who used to, okay, between us, this is going to sound I hope this doesn't sound too bad, but he used to clean up. This guy was dating women out of his league constantly. And I'm like, how do you even meet people? I don't meet anyone. I was like, how are you meeting people? How are you constantly dating? He's like, intramural volleyball, man. Signed up at the YMCA. Wow. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, twice a week I show up intramural volleyball. I've been doing it for years. And he was just constantly meeting people. Yeah. He always had a girlfriend. He was always going like, hey, I'm going to go check out this event. I'm like, how do you even know this is happening? Intramural volleyball, baby. I met some guy during my team. And then the other way for me is I highly recommend that everyone learns a partner dance, especially if you're single or you want to find something to do socializing at night that isn't going to a bar. Because here's the cool thing about salsa dancing, and this applies to swing dancing, to tango, to everything. Virtually every city will have a scene. You say you live in Denver?
Huh?
Denver has a salsa scene.
Yeah,
and if I went to Denver, you know what I would do? I would find it. And then I would have instantly, if I was going to be there for a week, 2 or 3 opportunities to go dancing, meet people, socialize, get like potentially connect with people. And it's not doing a tourist thing, and it's not going to a bar and drinking. It's sincere meeting, connecting, and finding a community. And every time I move to a new place, it's what I do. And guaranteed, my first few friends, my first few significant others, whenever I'm in a new place, are almost always from dancing, because I go and right away it meets people.
Wow. And I guess there's two levels of that. There's a level of you're really good at it, so people want to know, or you don't know how.
I became good at it. I didn't start good at it, homie. I'll tell you that.
Or you're like me, where I have no clue, and people are like, oh, let's help you. Let's at least be around, So don't feel bad if you don't know how to do it, because how else are you gonna learn how to do it? Renee,
short-term pain for long-term gain. Short-term pain for long-term gain.
Yes.
Be humble. Oh, here's another reason why I think it's really good to do this kind of stuff.
Okay.
It keeps you humble.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I still go and I'll go to meetups, or I'll go to, like, I'll do intramural volleyball, and I'm not good at it at all. And it sucks being the worst person on the team. But man, does that keep you humble. Every time you think you're all badass at something, go and do something you're not good at. Whoo!
And you realize, yes, absolutely it does. So I want to drop back into our personal development because I cut you off. But first thing, you said pay for it, which what a great, folks. If that's the biggest gem you get out of this message is, yes, if you want to, you need to, pay for, because for a lot of people, and both of you and I have had clients who pay for it and we don't see them again. You don't want it to happen. But for me and you, like, if I'm paying for something, I'm showing up because I put my hard-earned money into it. And so pay for it. And the next thing you said is don't do it at night because you already are burnt out from doing it. Well, is there any other things that you had in that?
There's one more thing I would do, because there's probably a lot of people listening, and there's this saying, you don't even know what you don't know. And the idea is, listen, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what my next career is. I don't know what my hobbies are. I don't know what I'm going to like to do. And for those people, I would say do what I did. When I moved to a new city and I didn't know anybody, yes, I had my dancing as a background, right? I had my dancing. But every time I moved to a new place, and I'll give you an example. I was living in Mexico City for like 6 months, okay? The week before I went to Mexico City, and right away when I showed up, I signed up for like 15 different meetup groups. Do you know what meetup.com is? No, meetup.com is a website where basically you join a community online so that you do something in person.
Okay.
Cool. And there's a lot of networking things on Meetup. I never did the networking things because I was just going out to a bar and drinking. No one knows how to do networking right. And I can rant about that. Maybe have me back and we'll talk about how to network better.
Yes, let's do that.
But I mean, dude, there was like a runners meetup group. There was a language exchange meetup group, like 50. There was a photography meetup group, a hiking meetup group, a volleyball meetup group. There was all these meetup groups, all these little communities. And I would join all of them and try all of them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because what would happen is I'd go to one of them once and I was like, okay, this is not for me. I go to another one. I'm like, I love this. I will see you next week.
Gotcha.
And everything in between. But the beauty of it was I just didn't know. And I'll tell you, I'll give you another really interesting thing about this. Okay. So I went to an acting meetup. Okay. For actors, you practice acting. And I have a whole other life as an actor, by the way. And I'll tell you which one. Yeah. So, and I was like, you know what? This meetup sucks. This is so boring. I could do this better. So I started my own meetup, which is another aspect. So basically, I started my own community because I wanted to do something that I couldn't find and I wanted to do. $2 you pay $2 is what I started with. For 10 years, I had this growing community of people, and I met so many people. I met like two significant others over the course of 10 years through this group. I have lifelong friends. There was 2 or 3 people who got married. Some people that met in my group. I have another buddy of mine who found his lifelong buddy, like his best friend. Like my buddies Dan and Mark, they are like this. And like they can like finish each other's sentences because they become so tight. And they met at my meetup group.
Nice.
And that was and here's another interesting thing. One person from the meetup group says, "Hey, I work at this bank. Can you come to the bank and do something like what you do at the meetup group there?" I said, "Sure." 8 years later, it is a client.
Wow. Nice.
Because I just that's the other thing. I was just experimenting with what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted, what I liked. So I just experimented by going to meetups, going to like meetups and communities. And then I made my own community based on something I wanted to do. And I used meetup.com for it. You can go to Eventbrite, you can go to Facebook and stuff like that, depending on what's big in your community.
Yeah, that's so cool. Because I just recently started a community called Becoming the Person Universe. And it's an online one, but the goal is within a year or so that we definitely have meetups where we bring in, and it's all about relationship and figuring out relationship and becoming relationship. And then also helping people become that person. that they long to be. And, the things that you're talking about is you don't know what you don't know. And even you said something that was so unique to me that you said, the career, we don't know what our next career is. But how many people are even thinking, what, I could do something different? I know I don't like what I'm doing, but I could do something different. Well, yeah, of course you can do something different. I'm 60 and I'm more excited about the next 15 years of my life than I've ever been about the last 60. And I've done some pretty cool stuff. I still think, wait, I haven't even got to it yet. And I see how, like you said, these people that are going to work every day and punching in or doing whatever they're doing, and I can't wait to retire. Retire? What the heck is retire? The people die after they retire. It's like, now I want to have enough money to do what I want to do when I want to do it, but retire? Stop doing something? My dad's 86 years old. We ran in a track meet this last, a couple months ago. And I had my grandkid was in the race. My son was in the race. I was in the race, and my dad was in the race. It's running 100 meters, 4 generations at 86 years old. That's what I want to be doing, and that kind of stuff as we're going through, life and what's available. I mean, I just love the fact that you're doing that. Now I know I've been like super selfish asking you the questions, and you've asked me.
No, please.
But
it's sort of the point, but don't worry. That's why we're here, baby. It's all right here.
Exactly. But I also want you to be able to talk about, you came on my podcast because you wanted us to know something. And so I want you to tell us what that is, why you came on. And I'm just so glad that you're here. This isn't the end of our conversation. Someday you'll be on my couch in my basement. We'll be talking. We'll go do some salsa stuff.
That day might be 2 weeks from now.
Hey, you come here, you show up. I promise you, we got plenty of food and we got plenty of,
You're a good man. You're a good man.
Snow and it's going to be warm. It's not going to be Canadian cold because we don't get Canadian cold. But I will help you find the soul. I don't know nothing about the salsa scene other than I interviewed somebody not too long ago, and he said there was a big international convention, a salsa convention here a couple weeks ago. So I know there's definitely got to be something here. So talk to us about maybe some things that you do or just what you want to hear about.
I want to say, first of all, thank you for having me on the podcast. It's been a beautiful conversation. And, if I can get everyone to walk away with a message is I'm on a mission to end boring.
Okay.
And I want to just end. There's an epidemic of boredom. Even you might love a TV show. You're sitting there half tuned out of it because we're bored. Everyone's bored because we all want something new. Yeah. And I actually wrote a book called End Boring.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And it's all about communication. And it's called A Tactical Approach to Communication. And it's a way, it's basically a reference book with tons and tons of tactics on how to speak so people listen.
Oh my gosh.
And it uses a lot of, because remember at the beginning I was talking, there's a cognitive dissonance between what we want and what we do.
Yeah.
And the reason we keep doing things the same old way is because no one has shown us a better way.
Yeah.
So the book is about that, showing you a better way to communicate, a way that actually resonates. And if anyone is interested, just search End Boring, or you can find me on Instagram. I'm a failed influencer. I post constantly. Nobody cares. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, that'd be amazing. It's at Public Speaking Lab.
Okay. Gotcha.
And something you didn't ask me? This is something you didn't ask me that and very few people do. But I thought it would be, when I first started my business, I thought it would be the biggest question. But almost no one asked me this. Why lab? Why Public Speaking Lab?
Okay, why
and I'll
lab?
tell you. Yeah, there you go. I'll tell you. So learning only happens when the teacher isn't talking. So if I'm doing all the talking, how do I know anyone is listening? So when I train, the reason it's called Public Speaking Lab is because my workshops are all experiments. I will demonstrate something. I'll make everyone make their own examples, and then they all experiment in front of each other. And the idea is, this is one of the things the End Boring mission, dude. We have to change the way we teach because we have to understand the way we learn. And here's the truth. There's nothing a teacher's going to tell me. People are worried about AI. AI is not the problem. The problem is that most teachers aren't telling me anything I can't read in a book.
Yes.
So why am I here in class? If I'm here in class only to listen, why can't I do that online? we need to change the way we learn from sitting and listening to demonstrating and doing. And that is going to be the future of education. And the best people, the way people learn is always through. There's no such thing, by the way. If you look at the research, a total tangent right now. If you look at the research, some people say, "Oh, I'm a tactical learner. I'm a sensory learner. I listen better, or I need to read it." No, you don't. All the evidence shows there's no such thing as one type of learning style. The fact is, the best way to learn is through application. That is the one thing that consistently shows a dramatic increase in learning. In other words, doing. So the role of the teacher is not to give out information. The role of the teacher is to challenge students to apply information. That is what I do. That is why it's a lab. That is why I'm on a mission to end boring. And that's why I wrote the book.
Oh my God. You and I are we're so, I just did oh my gosh. I literally did a seminar that I'll repeat this month that I did last month on relationship versus AI. So I'm an AI person. I'm a technology person.
Yeah,
I love AI, but AI for the sole purpose of creating relationships, not anything else. It gives you time to be in relationship, then the AI is good. If all it does is send you down another AI rabbit hole, then it's a waste of your time. But the thing that I spent so much time with is what exactly what you're saying is how important it is on this relationship side to make sure that we're doing it, that we're spending the time talking, we're spending the time. Oh my gosh, it's just, because we don't, and the first chapter of my book is all about the difference between knowing and learning. And how important is we've come, especially in my lifetime, from a generation that had to know everything before we did anything. I was a special ed kid, and they told me I could not be a PE teacher in Colorado unless I knew how to spell 150 words, which I couldn't do because I have dyslexia. It wasn't going to happen. And then all of our lives, we take a test. We take a math test, an English test, a spelling test, all about how much we know, but nothing about our ability to learn. And so, like you said, I need to shut up because I don't need to give you any more information. You can look that up. Chat GPT is your friend. Look, everything you want to know is right there. But if you don't know how to learn, you don't know how to take that and make it an adaptive experiences where you can apply what it's telling you. Even in the prompts that I'm using on AI, I tell people, oh, it's great. Okay, I can type in, did Ivan really meet Leonardo DiCaprio? And it'll probably go there and it'll probably tell me yes. And that's great, right? But is that something I need in my mind for the rest of my life? Right?
No.
It is something I need to know. I mean, do I want to go into Jeopardy? No, because I don't need to know all the things that have happened in the world in the last 2,000 years. What I need to know is how I can apply something that I'm learning and to make it great for me inside of relationships. So life is going to be awesome. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent because I got so happy that you were talking to my language about knowing and learning and what it takes. And oh my gosh. So is there anything else we need to know? I put your book up there for a second. So that
that's very sweet. Thank you.
In boring. I'm going to get the book. It seems like it's going to be an amazing book, and I need to end boring. Yeah. So, and I'm not bored because I got all kind of stuff to do. But at the same time, oh my gosh, there's so many people that I could send this to. All these doom scrollers, I don't have time. Oh my God, I just watch them. Like they're at a table in a restaurant meeting with somebody that they say that they care about, and they're scrolling for an hour during the meal. But like, it is really what's more important is the person who's outside that you don't know than the person you're sitting across to. Or is it your life that boring that you don't know how to do tactical communication with that person? And so you ran out of stuff to say. Like, how do you go to dinner and not have something to say for an hour? I could, like, we've talked an hour now, and I want another hour.
Wow.
Like, I want another.
Yeah.
Where there's no way we could not have something to talk about and say,
Well, you know what, Brian? Let me leave you with this teaser.
Okay, I love it.
A teaser for you. So I totally agree with you that conversation is becoming increasingly important. I think one of the competitive advantages of the future is going to be likability. and the
Oh yeah.
ability, because as you were saying, information has no value because it's everywhere and it's easy to get. And more technical tasks and expertise is going to be automated. So the competitive advantage of the future is really going to be communication and the way you communicate, inspire, and connect with people. And conversation is an art form that fewer and fewer people have developed. And if you can get good at that, then you have something that very few people have. And throughout the conversation that we've just had, part of the reason it's been so good is because we get along, we have similar ideas. But there's also some things that you have been doing naturally that a lot of people don't know. And I talk about it in the book. There's actually certain things that people that really charismatic people do naturally that you don't even realize you're doing to continue conversations. That's why you're so good at conversations. And once you realize them, and I put this in the book, but bring me back and I'll highlight a few of the things that you have done that we can all use, because once you realize it, you'll see it and you'll realize how easy it is. Because I want to, and let me leave you this last teaser. Okay. I know we're running out of time. We can talk forever. We could talk forever, which is a sign of a great conversation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm writing another book and I'm researching the dark side of communication.
Okay.
Forget corporate CEOs and all these cliche people, like, who is more charismatic than a cult leader, than a con man?
Yeah.
So I've been researching the dark side of I've been researching the dark side of communication, and a lot of their superpowers has to simply do with likability and conversation.
Yeah.
And if you can get good at those things, imagine what would happen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Man, thank you. This has been such a great conversation. And for those of you who are watching this, maybe this is the first time you watch our episode, hit the subscribe and like and all that kind of stuff.
Please, hit and subscribe and like. It's a great podcast.
Yeah, but I can't wait to have you back. And we're just going to sit down.
You name it, David. You name it.
Oh my gosh, because there's so much I want to continue to learn, so much that I think people that are watching can grow from, because you are absolutely right. The folks that know how to communicate, folks that know how to be in relationship, folks that know how to get along with other folks are going to be what's in most demand. The person who puts peaches in a can, their job is gone. I'm sorry, you can't do that all day long in an assembly line anymore. But and these are things that can be learned. This isn't like, because I'm naturally able to communicate means that, it means if you work at these things, you can become great at these things. And then your, I guess, not only likability, but your ability to create income for yourself is unlimited. And so thank you again, Ivan, for being on the show today, for gracing us with, I'm so honored to now be able to call you.
Not at all. It's been a lot of fun being here, man.
Yeah, we'll talk to you. And so you gave us a teaser, and I promise you guys here, we're going to come back and we're going to find out that I'm good at something. I have to have him back now because I got to know what I'm good at, right? So you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget your God's greatest gift. He loves you if you allow him to. And I can't wait to talk to you on the next one. See you later.